Welcome to Radical Self-Love Part 2. If you haven't watched Part 1, after we go through this one, go ahead and go back to Part 1. They're interchangeable. You can watch them in any order whatsoever, but they're both very, very important because we're going to cover different topics. Obviously, I'm David Essel. When we think about radical self-love, of course, we can go all over the place. How we take care of our minds, how we take care of our bodies, how we take care of ourselves spiritually if we're on a spiritual or religious path, how we take care of ourselves in relationships. And what I wanted to get into today are the things that someone who fully loves themselves in the most intensely deep, radical way would look at as a normal part of existence. And that is that we would let go of resentments against others obviously from the past, but the past could be yesterday or it could be 2 hours ago. Someone who loves themselves deeply would work very hard on letting go of resentments against others, and they'd also work really hard on letting go of resentments against themselves. So when we think about resentments are a negative judgment. Something happens, we hold a resentment, we hold a judgment, a grudge against someone. So if you're on a path of amazingly deep, radical self-love, you know that a resentment against someone else, anger against someone else, resentment against yourself, anger against yourself are anchors to the past. And people who truly love themselves in the deepest way possible are always working to clear up the past, to take care of the past, so they don't carry it forward with them. One of the ways when I work with individuals that have resentments against mother, father, sister, brother, former lover, whatever it might be, is that I say, can you talk about them without a pit in their stomach? And that's what someone who has radical self-love would do. They'd say, I love myself so much, I'll go through whatever it takes to release this judgment, release this resentment against anyone in the past for whatever they've done to me. It's so crucial. It's so incredibly important, and yet it's a part of self-love that a lot of us forget about because we want to hold on. We want the I'm right, you're wrong type of scenario. But if you truly want to radically love yourself in the deepest way possible, we cannot hold on to resentments. So number one is we let go of resentments and anger against other people. We let go of resentments and anger against ourselves. Like, there's no way I should have done that. I should never have married that person, all that kind of stuff, So huge. If you're going to radically love yourself deeply, those things have got to go. And most of the things I'm talking about on part 2, you really need to work with a professional. And whether that be a therapist, a coach, a minister, you need to work with someone else. The next part, if someone who really love themselves radically, they would exist with no guilt. Think about that. Guilt wouldn't be a part of their life. Or if it was a part of their life, they would look at guilt for the teaching tool that it is, for the mentor that guilt really is. They would stop the behavior or the thought that creates the guilt and then hence let go of the guilt. In other words, guilt can be a good thing to have in our lives if it makes us aware of what it is that we're thinking or doing that is not correct, that is not congruent. In other words, if you say that that you feel guilty over something you did in the past, well, we look at it as from the past, and it's because you hurt someone or you lied to someone or you stole from someone or whatever it might be. Or, I've worked with women that have had miscarriages that they blamed on themselves. I've worked with women that have had abortions, and those type of guilt that they need to look deeply at and release, because radical self-love is about getting to this present moment, getting to the space that you are right now, letting go of all past resentment, all past guilt against others or yourself to live freely. And, in my work with God as an all-faith minister, I look at God as this most unbelievably loving and forgiving entity, this incredible spirit force that wants us to be free, that wants us to love ourselves at the deepest level possible, which is what I term radical self-love. So as we look at all these things, it's a releasing from the past, and then it's bringing in activities. Radical self-love also is bringing in activities that shows we love ourselves. Like, we create time in the day to prove we love ourselves. It's nonsense to sit there in a mirror with your affirmations and to say, I love myself completely. I love myself as the whole that the divine sees. All that kind of stuff is honestly a waste of time and nonsense if you're not doing anything to prove it. Do you know what I'm saying? The subconscious is incredibly intelligent. And when we're going through affirmations and repetitions of words, and we're not backing that up with actions in the real world, the subconscious isn't buying into the fact that we love ourselves. If we're saying we love ourselves and then we do things that are not loving, the subconscious is saying, you don't love yourself. So even the words that we use, such as the affirmations, they're only as powerful as our actions are. Please remember that. As you're going down this path of radical self-love, that you're creating time on a daily basis to prove you love yourself, to prove that you love yourself, no matter what that might mean to you. For some, it might mean enough time to meditate. For someone else, it might mean enough time to exercise. For someone else, enough time to pray. For someone else, enough time to read, to feel renewed and renourished. And when I say enough time, sometimes 10 minutes of reading something that really moves you is all you need. Other times an hour. When it comes to exercise, if you're used to working out 30 or 45 minutes or an hour a day, and you only have 15 minutes on this one Wednesday, you take the 15 minutes. You show self-love. So in other words, self-love means that we, on a daily basis, and I really mean this, on a daily basis, that we're taking the time to prove we radically love ourselves. I mentioned earlier about getting help. People who love themselves deeply are always curious at how they can remove the past and add more to the future. And for most of us, that's going to require that we reach out and ask someone who works in this field to help us. It happens at every level every level that I know, people are always looking for mentors. They're looking for guides. They're looking for individuals to help them get to that next level of awakening. And that's what individuals who are involved with self-love do. And they do it regularly. If I can help you at all, I hope these two segments have really maybe reminded you of what you already know to be true in regards to self-love, which is awesome. If it's brought anything new into your venture, fantastic. Most importantly, I know in my work, the most important thing I can see is when someone is moving away from behaviors, moving away from thoughts, moving away from the past that keeps them tied down to actions that are not loving, and moving into the present where they take care of themselves every day of the year. That's real self-love. Acknowledging the beauty that you are, that's real self-love. Acknowledging the uniqueness that you are, that's true self-love. And knowing that whatever you've done in the past or thought in the past needs to be released and let go of so that we can fill our moments now, totally fill our moments now, with loving and observing the absolute gorgeousness and beauty that we all are. Okay? Again, if I can help you, talkdavid.com, talkdavid.com. Don't forget to share this with other people that are on a path of self-love. Let them know that there's pathways to follow. We don't have to create it. Just look and see what other people are doing. And it comes from a myriad of places. And then if you'd like, sign up at YouTube under Super Slowdown, our account here. And everyone that we put out, the brand new ones that we put out, we go ahead and they'll send them directly to your YouTube inbox. And then that way you can stay abreast of all the new ones. We've got about 210 right now YouTube videos out there. All right, and if I can help you again, let me know. Have a beautiful day filled with self-love. Bye-bye.